So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Heavensfield. We're here to have some fun, read about Shiro and Sakura. Well, I was going to say Shiro and Sakura's adventures, but at this point, I don't think Sakura is enjoying the adventure. It's more of a nightmare where she almost dies repeatedly. But we're going to have some fun, reading about what Shiro does and his quest to save Sakura, who, thanks to actually being involved in the material this route, is actually an interesting person that we care about, instead of a background character who is unceremoniously written out of the story and never referred to again. You'll stay the night when Senpai finishes. Stay night this night. Do I want BB in my room? I don't know. Well, let's go through. And we're still somehow on day 15, really? This has been like the longest day of all time. The longest day of all time. I keep thinking it's day 16 because the days have been so long. If she's ever feeling bad, Shiro could always summon a Sakura face. I suppose so. Purposely stalling my own stream. I'm not here to stall. I'm not here to stall yet. I do like interacting with chat, but I am here for these games. As, you know what, what I'm doing half the time when I'm not streaming is just playing more video games. It's just, I'm trying to stick to a schedule for the streaming part. Alright. I have to find out what happened to me before I start moving around. Yeah, what's going on? You've lost track of time completely. You're still conscious. You can figure out the situation if you don't lay your guard down. Easy content. Imagine every Lost Belt in Singularity being as long as a stay night route. Jesus. Oh my god. That would be an all-consuming game. And that would be an absurd writing task. Holy shit. Can you imagine how long that would be? That would make it like one of the some of the longest material in existence. Holy shit. You think about why you're in the shed. Why are we in the shed? Sakura's warning. He warned us to run. Tosuka said she'd fight. Right, wait. We have to go beneath Ryudo Temple. Your nightly practice? I'm on the ground. I'm guessing it's... I realize I'm in the shed. You did say you were in the shed like 2 sentences ago. My right hand is hurting. Thanks to that, my consciousness is back. Perfect, perfect. I get up and check how my limbs are doing. Don't lose spirit. I'm certainly losing something at hopeless speed, but it's not fatal. The servants in Lost Belt 3 might actually do something. Yeah, if we have an entire book's worth of text, we might actually get the servants in Lost Belt 3 to do something. We might actually have Mordred do something cool. At the very least, I should be able to fight normally until the day dawns. Yeah, hopefully. How's it going, Ryder? I quickly turn around. In the back of the shed, shrouded in darkness just beyond the moon's reach, there stands a servant in black.
Ryder, お前、今まで。
はい。ずっとあなたを監視していました。私の使命はエミヤ四郎の守護ですが、私の主は桜です。あなたが桜に危害を加えようとする以上、あなたを守ることはできない。
Anyone else intrigued by the pole right beside her in the back by the stairs? I'm wondering what that is supposed to be. I'm wondering what it's supposed to be. I know Ryder's here, but I always look at that. I always look at the stair area and the. Anyway, I don't know. It just stands out for some reason.
ですから、先の森ではあなたに手を貸さなかった。バーサーカーに追われたのは、あなたたちの自業自得ですから。
My mission is to protect you, but it's your own fault, so I didn't save you. Wait, what? What? Ryder explains lightly. The pipe, classic Shiro. Gotta reinforce those pipes. Gotta practice strengthening. She speaks without emotion. It seems she was waiting for me to be alone.
そうか。じゃあ、ここに現れたのは。
あなたを殺すためですね。あなたたちは桜の敵です。なら、このまま桜の元になど行かせるわけにはいかない。
Ryder's holding a nail-like dagger. Oh boy. We were promised an opportunity to die yet tonight. I think this is where we can die. Let's find out the dumbest thing to say. I feel her hostility creeping up my spine. Ryder's serious. Perfect! Saving! Taiga and Ilya promised me at least one more way to die tonight. Let's try to beat her. Fight back using projection. We're gonna beat a servant. We already beat one.
トレース。
Fight back! Let's do this! I activate my magic circuit, not daring to take my eyes off her. I won't make any weapons until the last second. You're not gonna fucking find that last second. She's gonna cut your arm off, and that's gonna be the end. I'll project something and counter her the instant she attacks me.
投影魔術。私ではあなたを使いこなせませんが、優れた剣士なら、あなたという宝具を最大限に発揮できるのでしょうね。
Eh? Ryder's hostility dissipates. She steps back and relaxes as if she's reading my mind.
ライダー。
見逃してあげます。私ではあなたを使えない。本当に皮肉な運命ですね、シロ。セイバーが健在であったのなら、彼女こそがあなたのパートナーだった。
Yeah, but Saber's dead now. Well, not dead, but gone. Senpai's too incompetent to kill himself. So mean, so mean. Ryder's presence disappears. Maybe she left the grounds after leaving the shed. I don't feel her hostility anymore, and I don't think she's coming back. Did she let me go? If my suspicion is correct, she might help us if the opportunity arises. We didn't die. Did I... we didn't die? The clock strikes midnight. I honestly thought that was a way to die. It's 12 o'clock, the promised time. I wrap the Azoth sword with cloth and tuck it under my arm. This is my only weapon. The only other thing I'm taking is the pendant.
シロ、リンが呼んでるわ。外で待ってるから、準備ができ次第来なさいって。
Okay. Ilya's going to stay here. It's partly because Zokin's after her, but I'm also having her stay here because she's my hope.
そうか。トサか、先に外で待っているのか。
ええ、早く来いって顔してたから、急がないとまた小言よ。
I thought I was gonna die here. I'm kinda weirded out. Have we got 3 Ilyas again? I nod and get up. There's no pain in my left arm now. It's just that my human functionality is eroding. Those pesky things called feelings. I can't tell what I'm doing if I stand
そ
still.
れじゃあ行ってくる。イリアも気をつけてな。
いってらっしゃいシロ。夜が明ける頃に、さくらとリンと3人で帰ってきてね。
Three Ilyas, Chloe, Ilya, and Sitnai. I wave goodbye to her and leave. Feelings just hold you back. Become a full robot. Forget everything you did previously. You'll become a stateless machine. The air is rumbling. Pressure that crushes the spirit of anyone who comes here. Wind must be blowing far above me. If I strain my ears, I can hear it howling. I know this atmosphere. Seriously, we didn't die? We didn't die there? I thought that would for sure get us killed. We were told there was a bad option. I guess I missed it. I literally tried to pick the one that would get us killed. I'm sorry, guys. Alright. I thought that was the most obvious way. Instantly draw your projection out, attack. get yourself killed. It didn't quite go the way I thought it would. Alright, it's the reenactment of the event 10 years ago. The air is thick with curses. Even people who are not magi should feel the ominous air of this place.
この感じ。お山の中腹、竜道寺に桜がいるのか。
いいえ、そっちに用はないわ。上で作られてる場は、
At
表
least
向き
you're
の
having fun.
ただ聖杯を欲しがるマスター用のもんよ。聖杯戦争の大元に行こうって言うんなら、上じゃなくて下に行かないとね。
Would one of those gotten us killed then? If we're on day 16 now, it's gotta be like, if it's not that one, it has to be the answering her question then. Escaping out of the shed probably doesn't get her to attack us if being aggressive doesn't. So we probably give her the answer to her question and it like triggers her to murder us. That would probably be it. I know, I'm still going. Can't even kill myself, Harley. Yeah, we've actually missed a couple deaths as far as I recall. There is a couple. I think you have to make some bad choices and miss, or make some longer choices that'll affect the things a few days later that we missed out on. Forest Dark. I also know I missed out on at least one at bad end in the Fate route, so I can't get the true ending this time. I can't get the complete ending. That's with Realtanua. The forest's dark. We climb the mountain using the moonlight that filters through the clouds. We push our way through the tree branches. There's not even an animal trail in this place, so we even have to climb down rock walls. I'm surprised it's that much of a mess, but alright.
イリアの話じゃこの辺りなんだけど。シロ、入り口らしきもの見当たらない？
I like how it says there's no animal trails, and yet we have this distinct dirt path, beaten dirt path. There's a couple branches lying across it, but apart from that, it's clearly a path straight through this area.
らしきものってなんだよ。
What do you mean, like an entrance?
岩肌に人が入れそうな亀裂があるとか、あからさまに怪しい社とかよ。一応入り口なんだから、まさか落とし穴ってわけでもないでしょ？
無茶言うな。
Okay.
星が出てるからって夜の森で周りが見通せるかって。
You know, this is set in 2004. Have you ever considered cell phone, flashlight, iPod? Just saying, Shiro. Hell, you can even bring a lantern. That would probably be useful if you're going to be wandering around at night in a forest. Oh, you can. Really? You can see something. We must be behind the temple because I see many dead trees. There's no sign of human influence. There's nothing here but dead trees and a small stream.
小川？
Senpai's more talented to kill his companies than himself. Or his enemies. It takes talent to be that good. It takes talent to be this bad at killing yourself. Hold on. That means the water is coming from somewhere. Yeah, where's the water for the stream coming from?
ちょっと待ってくれ。よく見てみる。
Following the sound of water, I figure out which direction to search. The stream isn't coming from the mountaintop, but from a rocky outcropping. I can't see all that well in the darkness, but the rocks are large. Formation looks like a natural gate, and the water's coming out behind them.
洞窟みたいだな。行き止まりに見えるけど、あれって。
Cave? That sounds like our entrance.
何？それらしいの見つかったの？
Yep, definitely a cave. Alright.
確かめてみよう。トサカ、こっち。
We pick our way down to the stream. It's more like a spring flowing out from the rocks. The stones are piled atop one another where it starts, and there's a crack big enough for one person to fit through. It's like a snow hut made from rocks. You can see that a huge boulder is blocking the entrance, so nobody would even try to go in it.
横穴になってるな。けど、行き止まりだ。水も岩から染み出てるみたいだし。
いいえ。ここで当たりよ、シロ。奥の岩に触ってみなさい。簡単にすり抜けるから。
Know a few electronics. He knows a lot. He should know a lot. He's basically the school handyman. if he can project a magic sword that has all its magical attributes, surely he can project a battery with full Actually, would that not work? You summon a flashlight with full battery, and then it shatters when the battery drains? Because it no longer matches your vision of it? Just curious if that's how it would work. Anyway, because his swords break when they no longer match, when they receive dents or scratches, and would thus no longer match his image of them that he formed from his head. So maybe that's why he doesn't project electronics. That, and they're also -1 rank. Flashlights never come with batteries. It's true, it's true. Flashlights never fucking have batteries. He has to buy some. Alright. This is the place. Just touch the rock and your hand will pass right through it. Oh, I see. I don't feel the rock and my hand goes through space. Space instead, alright.
驚いた。これ、目くらましの一種か。
結界の一種でしょうね。先行くわよ。
Tosuka goes into the darkness without turning back. Once we go into the enemy's lair, there's no backing out. I take a deep breath and follow after her. Alright, let's go. Sound of scraping on a hard surface. I progress down the wet rocks using my hands. The ground slopes steeply downward. The weight of the darkness is stifling. Unless I keep my back to the ground as I move, I might fall into the endless dark. I lay flat on my back as I slowly descend. Imagine missing 390% crits in the same fight. Oh, so painful, isn't it? Oh, I'm so sorry. I hope that didn't result in anyone getting killed, and it was just in Grand Order and not like XCOM or something. 90% hit chance in XCOM feel bad. Regularly lead to dead crew members. In the same chain. Oh, it was Grand Order, that sucks. I lay flat on my back as I slowly descend. It's dark. I can't tell how far down this path goes. My breathing echoes in my ears. Again, flashlight. Should have brought it if you're going spelunking. How is that not obvious? This is 2004. He has no excuse for not bringing a real flashlight. Like, this dumb motherfucker. He's more willing to fall to his death while doing caving than he is to spend $5 on a fucking flashlight and some batteries. Like, are you serious? You couldn't do that or ask Rin to project some light so you could see you're in an underground cave with zero visibility and you're gonna be attacked by servants who don't need light to see? Are you crazy? Man, fucking Shiro. Alright. Then, Tosuka, the one leading the way, suddenly speaks up.
いいけど、なんだ。
宝石剣なんで作ってくれたの？
Archer does have night vision? Well, he said he can't see jack shit. It's dark, you can't tell how far down the path goes. Unless you keep your back to the ground as you move, you might fall into the endless dark. The weight of the darkness is stifling. Like, that, he doesn't see jack shit. She sounds blunt, as if she's asking just to kill time while we're descending.
なんでって、なんでさ。
Yeah, he has everything but Archer's physical abilities. He just has the arm.
だから私はさくらを殺すって言ってるのよ。
Archer probably has night vision, but he doesn't have his physical abilities. When you use Archer's arm, he's like, I got everything but the physical strength and physical abilities of Archer. He copies everything but that. That's the one thing that fails. Although he is slightly stronger and faster, like Archer, he's like, just project Archer. Yeah, easy. Just project a person. Why not project the person? Why project the phantasm? Or noble phantasm?
そんな私に武器を預けていいのかってこと。
I nod in agreement. Yeah, we'll just give her a weapon. Why not? Tosuka has a point.
よくない。よくないけど、遠坂がいないとさくらは助けられない。さくらを助けたいんなら、一人より二人の方が確実だろ。
The arm influences his thoughts, maybe a little bit, but it also, I don't know how to tell you this, but arms don't actually have the ability to see something. I mean, most people don't have eyes on their arms. You might, but I don't. I don't, and most other people don't, at least as far as I know. So it can't provide him night vision. It can give him more information and access to Archer's database of weapons. Right.
それに剣を投影するのは約束だった。
And projecting the sword was a promise. You gotta keep your
俺は
promises. Yeah, I
遠坂
see.
との約束を果たせなかった。だからもう一つの約束だけはきちんと守りたかったんだ。
It happened a long time ago. I asked for Tosca's help after I lost Saber. Tosca responded to my call for help, and I made a promise with her to let her win. Cardboard homunculus labs. He got the full body, who gave him a body part, but not the immortality power. And you know what the best thing about Cardboard is? Cardboard also doesn't die from using Siegfried's ability. How does he not die? He gets he gets to live a longer life, whereas Shiro is like destined to die because he got an arm. The arm will kill you, but apparently having your heart instantly transplanted via like someone shoving their heart in your chest saves you. I don't get how that works. But it is what it is. So we promised to make Tosca Rin the victor. I can't keep that promise anymore. So I have to keep the other promise with her. Yeah, they aren't even the same person. How did that work? Considering Shiro had to be Archer, otherwise he would have died. It wouldn't have worked. And that was just an arm. You want a fucking heart? And not even like surgery. He literally just shoved his heart in his chest. He's like, I'll rip out my heart, shove it in your chest, you'll be fine. For the girl I used to admire, gotta keep that other promise to her. For Tosca Rin, who believed in someone who had nothing at the
そう
time.
律儀ねあなた。
なあ、遠坂ほどじゃないけどな。
Silence returns to the darkness. The conversation ends. We continue our descent without looking at each other. A long path that seems to lead to hell. The path spirals downwards, and just as I'm thinking we're over 100 meters underground, the dark cave changes completely, accepting us. And we see there's light. The path that could only accommodate one person widens up and leads on. There's no need for light. The cave is illuminated by a dim green glow, probably from some kind of luminous moss. The path is saturated with life force. It feels too lively, an air of birth, filled with vigor and the joy of life. An immense amount of awe, and mana so strong, it's almost visible. There's a shit ton of mana just this far away. We're not even at the Grail, and we can already like taste the mana there. Oof, that's some strong stuff. It makes me want to vomit. The warmth of life should be dazzling, but instead it's something rotten, making me want to look away. Well, that's why it's loaded with all the evils of mankind, you know? It's not just a metaphor, it's more or less literal. There's a bajillion curses in the air, man. Tosca says nothing. I have no words to say to her. This is a land of death. Talking to each other to soften the tension would only cost us our lives. Imagine Apocrypha with no Sieg, eternal Karna and Siegfried battle and pure destruction. Ah, so that's why Apocrypha. That's why the Apocrypha animation had Siegfried kill himself. Otherwise, they wouldn't have had the budget to afford for all the fighting. They couldn't afford to film all the action scenes. So instead, we're like Sieg and Jean dialogue. Nice, calm, easy to animate. Saves us budget for other things.
行くわよ。ここからは自分の命を優先して。
Tosca heads down the path to the source of the black air. I see something red on the ground. A trace of blood. The blood is leading to the back. Blood? Someone's been here already? Who would that be? No one bleeding. We haven't injured anyone. Did someone come here before us? Someone wounded badly enough to leave a trail of blood.
シロ、
すまない。すぐ行く。
I shake off that train of thought and head on. I can't be worrying about others. My consciousness fades away if I let my guard down. I'll disappear if I worry about needless things. Like the random person. Keep focused, Jiro. I tighten my grip on the pendant. Letting the pain clear my head, I step into the green darkness. A warm wind hits my cheeks. At its end, the path opens into a cavern. It's about as big as the school ground. Okay, so that's a huge cave. I guess that's why they needed to descend. That wind, whoosh. I like how the wind whooshed once and then was completely quiet. There's also no audio. It's too dark to make out the ceiling, but it must be about 10 meters up. I don't detect any signs of life. An unforgettable underground space that looks like the moonscape I read about a long time ago. And there waits Saber, filled with absolute hostility. She's the only one here. I don't see Sakura, Zoken, or Assassin. Did someone say moon? That's right. This cave apparently looks like the moon, or at least as it was described in a book Shiro read. The only one blocking the way here is the girl who has turned black.
Saber.
Dun dun dun. There's no reply. Of course. Saber's duty is to eliminate any intruders. She's the gatekeeper and the executioner. Saber's the strongest servant Sakura has, so she can fight us by herself.
話し合いで通してくれるって雰囲気じゃなさそうね。
Tosca lowers her stance and reaches for the gem sword she's hiding behind her back. You must intend to fight her head on. I don't know what kind of ability the sword has, but she's going to fight Saber. That's not a good idea. We still have a countermeasure since we know Saber's powers. We can't use our only secret weapon when Zoken and Assassin are still waiting for us yet. We got too many enemies to fight. We can't pull our... You don't pull out your trump card at the start of the tournament. You pull it out in the 11th hour. It's quite primitive for the moon. Have you seen the moon, Phoebe? Surely you've seen it. It's a literal rock. 99% of the moon is a rock. Yeah, you don't pull any trump.
遠坂待て。セイバーは。
リン、私にはあなたと争う理由はない。くれぐれも間違いで私に剣を向けないように。
That's your secret tech. You gotta save it.
あなたをここで殺してしまっては。
Gotta save that secret
さ
tech.
くらの命令に背いてしまう。
That's how Gil loses every fight. True. Gil loses every fight by being like, yeah, I can't pull out my answer. True. Maybe we should pull out our trump card every time. Speaking in the same quiet tones as before, Saber stops Tosca in her tracks. We comprehend what she means right away.
どういうつもり？あなたはここの門番よね、セイバー。
はい。相手が何者であれ、ここを通る者は消去する。それがさくらの命令です。ですが、
私は例外。さくらの方から会いたがってるってわけ
If Gil used his trump card, we wouldn't have had this disaster. But Sakura would have been dead. Is that what you really want? A dead Sakura? I don't think so. Shiro would not have been happy. Saber nods.
そう。
Alright, you get a free
本
pass.
気なんだ、さくら。
Rin gets a free pass. Alright, see you later, Rin. Looks like it's just me and Saber. You must be serious, she muttered. Dead Sakura means no BB. Yeah, how would BB approve that? You know, Sakura, death is a good ending for her. Wow, mean. That's mean. How can you hate someone that much? She hasn't done anything bad. She deserves better. Much better. After taking a deep breath, Tosca walks over to Saber.
悪いわね。そういうわけだから先に行かせてもらうわ。
So are we just waiting then? Are we just waiting then? Tosca walks on without hesitation and passes by Saber. And right before she disappears,
シロ、あんたがどうなるかは知らないけど、私は信頼してるんだから、ちゃんと期待に応えてよね。
oh, she's expecting us to fight. Yeah, wait. I can't understand if you complain to me without telling me what I should be doing.
だから、蹴りがついた後に来られて文句言われるのも迷惑だってこと。その、さくらを助けたいって言うんなら、あんまり遅くならないようにね。
Make sure you're not late if you want to save Sakura. Alright. Tosca's telling us, in no uncertain terms, it's our job to beat Saber, or at least get past her. Alright then. Tosca disappears, her hair fluttering behind her. Thanks, Tosca. Thanks. That gave me strength. In short, she told me to come help her while she keeps Sakura at bay.
それは不可能です。あ
Her
な
is
たは
right.
ここで死ぬのですから。
We tried to... We readied ourselves to fight Ryder to the death, and then she walked off. There's no Ryder here. She can't help us, because she thinks we're trying to kill Sakura still. We didn't explain our feelings, like, for the 5th time to her. We already told her like 3 times, so you'd think she'd remember it. But apparently she still needs reassurance. Hopefully she shows up and saves us. Or we can just beat Saber by ourselves. We'll see how it goes. Her hostility expands. Tosca left, leaving me alone. So she doesn't have to hold back anymore, huh?
なんだ。手を出すのはここから先に進むやつだけじゃないのか、セイバー。俺はまだ一歩も前に出てはいないんだが。
それは時間の問題だ。この局面であなたが立ち去れるはずがない。
Oh, he doesn't even get off on a technicality. She's like, well, it's time to murder you, but I haven't crossed the line. You're gonna cross the line. One of those people, alright. Saber's right. Retreat isn't an option. I have to keep going forward, even if she's in my way. I mean, she's not wrong, but she did say, I have to kill everyone who passes this line, not, kill people who might pass the line. Surely you could interpret it broadly if you wanted to, or narrowly, and if you were trying to be nice. Ah, well. Or didn't care for Sakura, that is.
俺のことはよく知ってるよな。セイバーの忠告も聞かず、いつも迷惑かけてたんだ。俺がバカなんだってこと、まだ覚えてたわけだ。
Yep, he's a dumbass. It's Shiro for you. I move my dry tongue. We suddenly add letterboxing to something that's in fixed 4:3 aspect ratio. Not quite sure we needed that. Looks kinda weird, but alright. I couldn't even hit Saber once when we sparred in the dojo, and she wasn't even using 1/10 of her powers. Guess you're gonna have to rely on Archer's arm. Let's see how that worked out for Archer. Alright, he got his throat slit in the first attack. Yeah, that's not gonna work out too well. Alright, there's no way I can beat her. My neck will be cut the instant I cross blades with her. Imagine Nobu instead of Angry Mango. Instead of all the evil as corruption, it's Nobu? You mean instead of all the evil as corruption, what we instead get is a bunch of mini Nobus. Literally millions of them pouring out from the Grail. Bothering people with their emotional fragility and the endless line Nobu. It would be a disaster even worse than if Angry Mango was released. The scale is unfathomable, considering Nobu UFOs can probably go in space. They might reach other planets and drown them in inane babbling. Funny how Nobu's more an idea than a person. She is a person. It's just people like the side characters and meme characters that's spring off of her because of her good jokes. Alright, so I have to find an opening. If there's no opening, I'll make one. I have to get her attention, even if it means talking with her or appealing to compassion. I don't feel like appealing to compassion is going to work here. The start of the battle isn't when the blades first meet. I have to use everything I can to find a way to beat her.
おしゃべりが過ぎますね、シロ。1秒でも早く私に殺されたいのですか？
Did I read Guda Guda 4? And why there are so many Nobus? Guda Guda 4 is the one coming up right next, right? I don't think I've read that one. That's gonna be new this year in NA, right?
そうだな、セイバー。けど、その割には律儀に剣を収めてくれてるじゃないか。ここで俺を殺すっていうのに、そっちからは仕掛けてこないのか。
それが決まりですから。あなたが前に踏み出すまでは猶予を与えます。
Yeah, this year. I haven't read it, no. Unfortunately. I'll read it when it comes out. With you guys. Final Hanaji. Alright. Bear it until we step forward.
それも時期終わる。あなたはさくらの元に行くしかない。私が動くまでもなく、あなたの方が耐えられずに仕掛けてくる。
Well, what now? I've failed already. Saber has no openings for me to exploit. She's content to stand still and wait for me to act. Yeah, you're the one on the timer, Shiro.
真っ向勝負しかないってことか。
I breathe out the air in my lungs. There's only one possible way out of this. Archer's arm. I have to use projection to defeat Saber, just like when I fought Berserker. But I already know I can't beat her that way. My mind is, I can't beat her that way, therefore I take off my sleeve. I like how he actually had the red cloth show up in the corner of the screen for a second. My mind is, cut limbs, protect senses from the head. What are we tracing? I create the weapon. The swords that have the least burden on me out of all the projections. He can't use Unlimited Bladeworks. He doesn't have access to it. Because his mind is not the same as Archer's, he doesn't have the same Noble Phantasm. The swords that have the least burden out of all the projections. The symbol Archer wielded for all his life. Twin steel blades. Yeah, he can't use Unlimited Bladeworks. It's offline. He can use, he has to use his own version of Unlimited Bladeworks, but he doesn't know his mind well enough. Because his mind's being invaded by Archers. He doesn't have the mental acuity to figure out how to do that. To achieve the self-realization necessary to craft Unlimited Bladeworks, or your own version of it. Twin steel blades, let's go. Yin Sword Bakuya and Yang Sword Kanshu. They don't have any special abilities, but they're strong swords. They won't shatter from 1 or 2 blows, even against Saber.
アーチャーの剣。私の剣を真似ないのですか、シロ。
With an effort, I gather together the shards of my consciousness. What did Saber just say? Did she ask me why I won't project her sword? I can't waste my energy like that. It takes too long to project such a powerful Noble Phantasm, and I can't handle that Holy Blade in any case. We're trying to make her as salty as humanly possible, so let's project Archer's swords instead. Imagine Shiro projecting a gun and then using Unlimited Lost Works. That would be hilarious. Even better would be him just pointing a gun at her and firing, and her being like, wait a minute. I can't attack him because he hasn't taken a step forward. Shit. Dies. Or like sits there and evades while you just shoot repeatedly. Like, as long as I don't cross this line, we're good. Technicalities, everyone. Wouldn't really work that way, but it'd be funny. Salter reflects Unlimited Lost Works with luck only. Actually. Does Salter still have her luck? Her C ranked luck? Her luck's actually down. It's at C instead of higher. Mind you, everyone else has pretty atrocious luck ratings, but she only has C. She doesn't have A luck or anything crazy like that. One of the few stats that's not boosted. Fisk to the heavens. Alright. Yeah, you should be able to imitate it if your enemy's not moving, but you won't have time to use the sword's true name against her, so no point using Excalibur. Oh, what's Archer's luck? We actually just went over that. It's E. Gilgamesh has A. Gilgamesh has A. We can't see him anymore because we can't see him because we never met him in this route. Archer has terrible luck. Terrible luck with E. It's this one here. Yeah, we don't know his NP stuff, but he only has E. E luck. You thought he had good luck? Good luck? Shiro has good luck. Archer has terrible luck. Gilgamesh, as I recall, has A rank luck. Possibly. He doesn't? He doesn't? We can look up Gilgamesh's luck outside of this. I'm just gonna do that real quick for you. Let's see. Let's see. Class skills, personal skills, parameters. Gilgamesh has A rank luck in the in the 5th Holy Grail War. In the 4th Holy Grail War, he has A rank luck and A rank luck under both masters. So yeah, Gilgamesh has A rank luck. Yeah, every time the choice comes up, there's a chance Shiro dies. It's true. Almost every single choice can lead to you dying. In fact, that's basically all they lead to. Shiro has significantly more than a 50% chance of dying in any route, if you just did it randomly. Mind you, I think a lot of the choices are things that go against Shiro's motivations and choices he wouldn't make. So I think there's actually a pretty high chance of him not dying in the routes. If you roleplayed as Shiro, I think he would make it through at least half of all routes. Because some of the choices are like completely inane. It's like Shiro, it's like the sentence before Shiro's like, I need to save Sakura. And then the question's like, should I save Sakura? Answers? Yes, no. And you're like, well, if I say I should save Sakura, I'm gonna not save her. Oh, I died. Oh, that, obviously I should have saved her like I planned to. They do that a lot, so. In theory, if Shiro was a character, he would probably pick yes most of the time. Alright, back to the scene. I'm just placing C4 here and not over the line. No big deal. The only thing that matters is that you armed yourself. Uh-oh. Looks like our brilliant plans to do stuff like throw dynamite at her or shoot her with guns don't work. She's going to attack just because we armed ourselves. Saber's body wavers. She holds the black holy sword. She offers my dying body a quiet invitation. Alright. Can a man with Archer's skills and his sword beat Saber in a one-on-one combat? It's technically not. Yeah, it's a mining equipment. It's not a murder weapon. Alright, I take a step forward. Saber wouldn't know, but she knows they are the explosives. My first move, predicting Saber's counterattack. How to avoid it? I throw everything away and kick the ground. I swing the Ying sword, Bakuya. In a heartbeat, I close the 10 meters between us, concentrate everything I have in my left arm, and swing down with all my might. My attack is parried. Ignoring it, I swing the Yang sword, Kensho. But it does no good. Saber wards off my attacks harmlessly, and her sword lunges to pierce my throat. Which one of us is surprised? I don't care. What kind of miracle is it that executing the attacks Emi Ashiro cannot execute, and blocking the attacks Emi Ashiro cannot block? It's Archer's skills. You're fighting someone a lot better. The army explosives, the hustle action. The technicalities. I don't care. What's the flashing light? The force that renews itself every second. I really don't care about it. Archer really hates to lose, doesn't he? It's an overdrive that leads to death, as well as a calm sleep. My body moves like a superhuman. My blades move like lightning. Shiro can't win even with class advantage. He's like a level 1 fighting a level 60. My mind reads 10 steps ahead, ensuring 5 more seconds of survival for each attack I parry. Oh, we're going in. Come on, Shiro. I can only manage to defend. The only attack allowed for me was the first. The rest of the time is spent fending off her attacks. I've already blocked 30 attacks that could have killed me. Time stops. My body can't keep up with my mind. My limbs can't keep up with the extracted experience. This is why I chose Kansho and Bakuya. Kansho and Bakuya? I didn't only project the weapon. I reproduced Archer's battle experience along with the swords. It's not perfect, but my abilities are now close to his. It's like dropping a penny. I'm not trying to kill you, I'm just throwing rocks in your general direction. There's a present box. That's why I can manage. My vision wavers with each blow I deflect, but I can bear it. My mind and flesh are scraping off, and my existence is fading. You can't hand. She's 10 meters away, Jacob. You can't hand it to her unless you got 10-meter arms. What kind of weird guy are you? Like, your arms are 5 times as tall as you? My mind and flesh are scraping off, and my existence is fading. My body screams with each of her attacks, and I'm beginning to see my death a mere 30 steps ahead. There's no fear. All I have is... Now we're bringing RC cars down with us. Fun. The joy of being able to keep up with her. I can fight. I'm fighting her. I don't care if this is borrowed knowledge and borrowed techniques. I'm exchanging blows with Saber. There might be a chance of victory. Saber won't use her holy sword. Maybe it's because it'll break the ceiling if she uses it. Or maybe it's some other reason. Either way, Saber's fighting me using only her sword technique. No mana bursts, only sword technique. Because she's like, are you fucking serious? You're like, I trained you in the sword, and you're like, oh yeah, this random guy I saw for 5 minutes. I like his sword techniques better. Well, at least we're not dead. If that's the case, I can still manage. There should be an opening since Saber isn't using her holy sword, right? She's only acting at like 50% power or whatever. She's fighting at 100% sword skill though. I move faster. I shift into high gear and step on the gas. We weren't doing that already. The shroud on my arm is irritating. I hate myself for only being able to project one more time. Extracted. Deeper, wider, closer to the limit. I can keep fighting Saber if I can extract it. We're gonna exploit this fight. We're gonna win. Sort of. Right? We're gonna... My body jumps back. Saber's attack pushed me away, so I jumped back to regroup. I try to catch my breath. Every muscle in me is on fire. It feels like the heat inside of me is coming out of my pores. Is Saber giving you the space? With Kansho and Bakuya in hand, I stare at Saber. I jumped 10 meters back. Even Saber will need to take 2 steps to close this distance. With this buffer between us, I can relax. I get my breath back in no time. I look down at my body for a second. I don't care. So long as they don't kill me, I don't mind these swords. It's a problem that my movement precision's going down, but I fortunately don't feel any pain. I can block 5 more attacks from Saber. I can't tell what'll happen after that. So I have to find an opening within the next 5 attacks and strike with everything I've got. Swords. Swords everywhere.
その方法では私を倒すどころか傷一つつけられない。
But Saber quickly shoots down that idea.
どうして俺はお前と戦えてる。
Are you? You're close, but I don't think you're threatening here. You're just not dying.
その体でよく吠える。いえ、その体だからこそ無謀な策を強行する。いかに血が出ず、いかに中身が剣になろうと、あなたの肉体は限界だ。このまま打ち合えば、次はその体ごと粉砕する。
Billy baby. Alright, you're going to obliterate us with this next exchange of attacks? But what we wanted to exploit the opening. So what's our plan, Shiro? Well, how are we going to win this? I know. I already know I'm going to lose. Yeah, you know you can block exactly 5 blows before you die. So what's the plan? But I have no other option. I can only project one more time. So I have to defeat Saber with the swords I have right now.
次はもっと強く打ち込む。あと5回のうち一度でもお前を上回ればそれで。
Yeah, just bring a remote control. The guy who couldn't even bring a flashlight to a cave, you're expecting him to bring C4 and an RC car?
シロ、余力を残してどうするのです。
Her words contain a deeper meaning. It contains so much feeling that it clears up my broken and crazy mind. What good is keeping energy in reserve? That's right. I'll die if I can't beat Saber. But I still have one more trump card. I'm saving the last projection to save Sakura. I like how you guys are like, surely just some random ass butter on a dirt floor is gonna slide. Oh, it's so bad. But that'll be meaningless if I can't make it to Sakura, where Sakura is. Alright, we going all out?
それは
It means giving up my only shot at saving Sakura in order to beat Saber. I can't do that. It won't do any good to die here, but there's no point if I can't use projection once I get to Sakura.
シロ、あなたを下した後、私は桜の元に戻る。わかりますか？リンは私と桜を相手にしなければならなくなる。
My last projection. It's like, I will die if I use projection one more time. Picks up a stick of butter. I am the bone of my sword. Creates a stick of butter and he's like, it's totally worth it. Dies 5 minutes later. So bad. That's impossible. Tosca won't be able to fight the two of them at the same time. But conversely, if Sakura's alone, Tosca's gonna...
そういうことです。私さえいなければ、彼女は必ず桜を救う。
Yeah, she might succeed. His final meal, an entire stick of butter. Oh, I can just imagine it's like a pound of butter, man. Oh god. So much. There's a meaning. There is a meaning. Saber has to stay here because I didn't run away. Sakura is facing Tosca without her greatest protection. But that's only for a moment. Sakura can call her servant back at any time. Sakura would call for Saber if Tosca corners her. Like, he's eating it like a chocolate bar. Man, that's so... How do you eat that? That's like bigger than my fist. That'd be a huge bite. He must be eating it like... I don't know how he's eating it. I guess maybe it's soft and he's squishing it into his mouth. Sarah slices it and he's like... say you cut through my sword like a... You cut through my sword like a knife through butter, and she's like... It's like, yes, I'm aware the sword is made of butter. It's totally worth it. Alright, so Sakura is not in any danger yet. Once that happens, Tosuka will lose if Saber comes back. Yep. Then what I need to do is keep Saber from going to her master.
Saber?
Oh my.
シロ、あなたにとって私はその程度の存在ですか？
My heart stops. Oh, my heart already stopped a few seconds ago. My body's breaking down already. My fate's been determined ever since I took the shroud off in the Einsburn forest. The body without sensation and the mind without a self aren't afraid of death. I don't even know what fear is anymore. But I've clung to life to save Sakura. My wish can be granted, it doesn't matter how it happens.
ここで死んだら何にもならないなんてことはなかったんだな。
I'm determined now. Project a burger, please. How much butter does he need to put on the burger? Tosuka will have to face Soken, Sakura, and Saber if I don't take Saber down here. There is a meaning if I can decrease her opponents. Even if I can't save Sakura, Tosuka will do it if I give her the chance. Yeah, have confidence in Tosuka. I close my eyes and use projection for the third time. But these twin swords are the only weapons I'm going to read. I still haven't comprehended their full capabilities. I'm going to pull out Archer's tactics and Kanshu and Bakuya's true nature. Wait, there's more you can pull from them? You projected them! How is there more to pull from them? It's not... Rub the butter into her face and mouth. She likes it. The instant I connect myself to Archer's arm, the remaining 40% of my mind is reduced to 20. I forget names. I forget the names of a lot of things. My name included. Go further. Find it. Find it. Find it. It has to be there. The method I couldn't come up with. The stance that will guarantee a kill should exist. He favored these swords. Then there's no way he hasn't come up with an ultimate attack to get him through countless battles. They aren't a noble phantasm. Remember, he doesn't have a noble phantasm. What? 10% left. Leaving myself behind, I draw from the well of experience. 2 curves. Yin and yang are attracted to one another. Consecutive projection. Keep the basic technique. Meaning. Divine skill. Flawless and firm. Strength moves mountain. Blade cuts water. Life approaches the imperial villa. 2 great men shared life. Here we go. What's happening now? I reach it. Wait, there is a way to win? I reach Archer's fatal attack. The true meaning behind Kanshu and Bakuya. What I'm about to do is my limit. My last 3 attacks. Naturally, as an archer, he's going into melee. Reach that fucking limit, boy! My enemy readies herself, able to feel my determination. Come on, Shiro! Let's do this! Who's that? All the names were blown from my mind, but this enemy is called... I don't have time to be thinking. I have to move while I still can.
無血にして盤石
I have to surpass my enemy in this exchange of blows. Divine skill, flawless and firm. Alright. I throw them. I charge them with as much magical energy as I can muster, and I throw them from both sides, targeting the enemy's neck. The 2 blades draw an arc, so they intersect right on the enemy. The blades draw a beautiful cross. No hero can come out unscathed after being trapped between steel-penetrating noble phantasms. But the enemy blocks them like nothing. She easily redirects Kanshu and Bakuya that attacked from both sides at the same time. She escaped the attack. The twin swords are supposed to come back to me, even if they're deflected, but she redirected them behind her. I'm unarmed now. The enemy closes in on our unarmed opponent. I charge.
凍結解除。
同じ武器。
Twin swords block her attack. The projection was all completed. No quotes for now, I guess. Using the image I've prepared, I create Kancho and Bakuya anew.
無駄なことを。
Don't abuse the poor Nightbot. He isn't anything.
その宝具では私には届かない。
She unleashes her fatal attack. But right before that,
山を抜き
strength moves mountains. Alright. A surprise attack comes from an unexpected direction. She uses her cognition-like instincts and avoids the Kancho that flew at her from behind. Taking advantage of the perfect opening, I strike using Bakuya. And she blocks it with her sword. She's a monster. She blocks both the surprise attack from the back and my attack containing full force. And she destroys Bakuya that I attacked with. If she isn't a monster, what is? But
剣水を分かつ。
if I weren't fighting a monster, I wouldn't need this arrangement.
もう一つ。
Bakuya attacks her from behind again. I don't even need to say it, that it's the one that was thrown and deflected. Kancho and Bakuya are twin blades. They attract each other like magnets. So Bakuya automatically returns to me as long as I have Kancho. The enemy avoids the surprise attack with godlike reflexes, and I smash Kancho into her unguarded chest. She even blocks my final attack. Time freezes. We take an instant to assess each other's condition. The OG Archer attack. This is Chloe's NP, yeah. My attack is ended. Two pairs of Kancho and Bakuya. She blocked the simultaneous attack from 4 blades. With all my weapons destroyed, I can't do anything more. The enemy is at her limit too. She destroyed my weapon at the cost of leaving herself open. So there's nothing more. The battle has ended in a stalemate. We're both defenseless, and in a second we'll be back where we started. But I still have more. The enemy's expression freezes. My last 10% disappears.
生命 D 級に届き
Ah. Remember when Archer tried to use Crane to beat Herc the Saber? He tried. I passed my limit. I create another pair of swords in my empty hands.
セイバー我ら共に天を抱かず
We embrace heaven together. Oh shit! I slash her defenseless body from both sides. I remembered it. I say her name in my final moments. But it's a shame. I can't tell if that's something to regret or to be proud of. Anyway, I've defeated my enemy. That attack was perfect. Then I should rest now. My heart's still beating. I should be able to stand back up after I wake. So, for now, I'll sleep a bit. The twin swords are swung from both sides. She saw them coming but couldn't do anything to defend herself. Her body cannot catch up to her thought. Having blocked 2 surprise attacks from the enemy, her limbs are occupied for just the briefest of moments. She falls on her back. Projects butter. Stop, we're trying to be serious here. This attack's fatal. Kancho and Bakuya splattered her organs out and crushed her spine. She groans in pain. An impact with the force of an explosion. She has fatal wounds, but she's still alive because she's a servant. And to add, she has natural healing powers. She has strong regenerative abilities, coupled with an almost infinite source of magical energy. One has to crush her head or heart if one wants to kill her. She'll heal within 10 minutes if she's left alone. But conversely, she cannot do anything for 10 minutes and has to accept any finishing blows. She calls out to the boy lying on the ground. His wound is fatal too, but he should be able to move. It should be easy for him to stand up and stab at her heart. She talks to herself between ragged breaths. The match is decided. Accepting her impending death, she calls out. Strong from the start. Oh, shit. There's no reply. She turns her head. She looks at the boy lying right next to her. There's no one there. The boy's heart's beating and he's still breathing. His eyes are open, staring up at the ceiling. But that's all there is. His mind was destroyed the instant he used projection for the third time. The one whose limits held her back, and the one who went past his limits. The result is the one lying beside her. There's no emotion in her voice. She's used to it. She's seen many enemies risk their lives and die meaninglessly. That's what it means to be strong. A hero is someone who cuts down his foes using everything he has. Shiro did the things Mordred never achieved, beating Saber and getting acknowledged by her. Ooh, that hurts. That hurts. Oh, sorry, Mordred. True though. He looks up at the dark heavens. There are no tears to be shed. The heroic spirit of the sword quietly waits for the battle's end. A tremor rumbles in the distance. She doesn't care which way the scales have tipped. Her heart contains only the slightest trace of pity. Tosuke Rin and Matou Sakura. No matter which one survived, the one who would bless them is no longer in this world. Well, we sort of won. We sort of won. Except, we got an end. It wasn't even a bad end, or a dead end, it was just an end. But apparently we need to take some advice from the Tiger Dojo, so maybe it wasn't the right ending.
これも一つの終わり。よく戦ったな、若者。ほろり。
あれ師匠、いつもみたいに軟弱者って怒らないすか？
Yeah, we aren't getting roasted for making a mistake?
この結末もある意味大往生だからね。言うなれば、ヘブンズフィールにおけるセイバーちゃんエンドっていうか。
まあ、確かに1対1でセイバーから1本取ってるし、シロにとっては本望なのかな？
There was no mistake. There was no mistake. This is the end. Alright, we're done Heaven's Feel. We did perfect. I mean, if we could have projected a little bit harder, we might have even won. If it wasn't obliterating our mind, we would have won. Oh well. Good fight, though. I guess Shiro's satisfied.
が、それでも稽古はいつも通り行うのだ。まず、このエンドを迎えた原因は何かな？弟子1号？
簡単っす。セイバーと1対1になってしまったことだと思います。
Look, if we need to find a way to recruit someone else to fight Saber.
その通り。最終決戦に向かうときは切り札を用意してから行けと毎回言っているのになぜベストを尽くさないのか。
So are they saying that trying to kill Ryder was a bad idea? There's no murder girlfriend that uses tentacles. Fine.
じゃあ師匠、 今回の切り札って何なんすか？
友よ
An ally.
友よ。
あ
なんか美味しそうな響きです師匠。
What's the trump card this time? Anally? Oh, it's so bad. I feel like I'm 6 years old. I feel like a 12-year-old. That's so funny.
必要なも
That
のは
was
ズバ
funny
リ
though.
ふわーっとな
That's as good as
この状況におい
the
て
butter
一人
summoning.
だけ仲間になってくれそうなサーバントがいるはずである
Even in this situation, there should be. Yeah, we need to get Ryder on our
なん
side.
とか彼女を説得して最終決戦に臨むべし
She said it sounds funny.
はーい、わかりました。けど師匠、あいつすぐ逃げちゃうんですけど。
以前の彼女との問答を思い出しなさい答えは一つ彼女が望む答えを口にすればその場で仲間になってくれるわ
She's hinting at something. Ilya's hinting at something.
さあ今回の道場はこれでおしまい
She is 18. Right? She is actually 18. She's like the oldest person in the series. She's like the oldest person in the series.
長かった戦いも大団円まであと少し Fate Stay Night そのグランドフィナーレを君の目で確かめてね
Yeah, Stay Night Ilya's 18. Also, did you like that dialogue line where Taiga said Fate Stay Night? Fate Stay Night. That was kind of funny. I think that's the first time someone actually reads the title of the series. Is this dojo? I don't think I've heard it yet this entire series, including the Tiger JoJo's. That's cool. Also, I don't know what the hell they're drawing on the whiteboard back there, but it looks wonky.
バイバイ。またいつかどこかのタイガー道場で会いましょう。
This is a work of fiction, all captured 18 plus. Oh, right. Of course, of course. Shouldn't ever forget that. It does say that on the title. It's Sakura's face. Alright. Let's try this again. Let's try this again. Let's try this again. We're back to the night before. I mean, we've all been here before. Accidentally gotten murdered. We did beat Saber. We did sort of beat Saber in a fight. If so, I'm thinking it might actually be possible for Archer to win. You guys think Archer could beat Saber in a sword fight? He might actually be able to win. Like, if that was actually Archer instead of Shiro, Archer's mind wouldn't have collapsed. He might have actually been able to win. He has class advantage. There's no class advantage in this. Alright, we give her the answer to the previous question she asked a while back. He could beat Saber Alter in that situation, yeah. Although, I'm thinking she probably would throw out mana bursts and blasts of energy instead of just swordplay. But maybe, because Archer uses swords, maybe she'd just be like, are you fucking serious? You're coming at me with swords as an archer instead of pulling out a sword? And she'd actually, like, in a cave? She's too OP. Let's have a look. Who once asked me? Let's get back on track here. What was it? Remember, it was cave makes things difficult. Yeah, but she can still do it, right? She still can fire it off. She doesn't give a shit about cave-ins. She can fucking shoot lasers to blow. She can salter beam the fucking cave away if she really wants to. Really wants to. It's just not very safe for most people. Normal people. People who don't have magical wish-granting devices and infinite mana. So, will we be on Sakura's side till the very end? That's definitely the question she asked. I remember that. I don't even need your chat's help. That's right. She asked me to under the starry sky. I'll be on Sakura's side till the very end. The words I couldn't say to her back then. I can tell her now with confidence.
ライター、あんたが桜を大切にしているのはわかる。
Hydrate. Alright. Thanks for the drink, man. I understand how much you care for Sakura.
今だって、俺を行かせたら、桜が苦しむから止めようとしてるんだろ
Probably.
ええ。それが分かっていてさくらを殺しに行くのですか、シロ。
We're not gonna
う。
kill her.
殺すためじゃない。救うために行くんだ。ライダー、俺は最後まで桜を守る。どんなことになろうと、桜を選ぶ。
Sakura, no matter what. Hear that? We're gonna save her, and we're telling Ryder
そ
this
のため
time.
にあんたの力を貸してくれ。俺と遠坂だけじゃ桜を助けられない。桜を本当に大切に思ってくれるなら、今だけでも手を貸してくれ。
Appeal to emotion.
それは
Alright. That's our argument. A simple appeal to emotion. If you care for Sakura, please help us.
いつぞやの質問の回答ということですか。
Of course. Of course it is. I nod.
いいでしょ
Her head moved downward. She actually nods too. Interesting. Just noticed that with the corner of my eye. Circolots NP level cheese versus Emiya's rejected butter. Now we need someone with bread for a grilled cheese sandwich. Alright, who else can use weird objects as noble phantasms? Obviously, we either use someone who's fire themed, like Jean Alter, to provide the fire. I was gonna say Gilgamesh's golden frying pan, but we don't need that now. We'll just use magic fire. What is the toast? What is the toast? Whatever. I'm sure Gilgamesh has some golden bread. It's cheating, but you can have him project bread. Gilgamesh summons forth this luxury bread. He surely has some bread in his treasury, exactly. Kentucky.
ですが、私は勝算のない戦いには赴きません。あなたは私に何を期待するのですか、シロ。
What do we expect from Ryder? I've done nothing but summon bread for 10 years, Zashu. There is only one thing to expect from Ryder. Ryder's the only one out of all the servants that can oppose Saber's noble phantasm. Sakura's strongest card. Look, we're caring about her noble phantasm in a cave.
その前に質問がある。あんたのホグは今でも使えるのか？
使えます。さくらは未だ私に魔力を供給していますから。
じゃあ次。サーバントは実体化していても、カテゴリー的には霊体なんだろう。となると、通常の武器ではサーバントを傷つけられないのか？
Can't shoot a shitpost transport fighter.
そうですね。通常のサーバントなら無効化できますが、
I feel like
サクラ
there
に
was
囚われたサーバントは別です。
I feel like there was a lot of shit posting during Sparks Liner High. That was a fucking good scene though, man. I kind of want to read it again by myself just to get it without chat's involvement. That was a hype as fuck scene. Seeing Shiro actually cut down Saber in a one-on-one fight. No magic abilities, just pure skill. Although it wasn't his skill, it was someone else's skill. That was fucking badass. Alright. A normal servant would nullify physical attacks. But those consumed by Sakura are another matter. Oh! They take physical damage
セイ
from
バー
regular
は
weapons?
肉を与えられ、霊体に戻れない生命です。
They can't turn into spirit form and they can take physical
強力な
damage.
魔術品ならば、彼らがまとった黒い影を突破できるでしょう。
Strong magic weapons should be able to penetrate through their shadows.
なら決まりだ。賞賛はあるし、役割もはっきりしている。ライダー、あんたには1対1でセイバーを倒してもらう。具体的に言うとだな。
I whisper in her ear. I know nobody's listening, but I'm making sure. I'm just making sure.
なるほど。確かにその方法なら突破できる。何しろ純粋な力勝負です。紛れが起こる心配もない。
だろ？まあ、問題があるとしたら、それは。
あなたの技量と、あなたの技量を私がどこまで信頼できるか、ですね。
I nod. Ryder puts a finger to her mouth, thinking. What's our
し
plan?
ました。あなたを信頼し、一時の主と認めましょう。
And she agrees with a smile that takes me by surprise. Yeah, Ryder. All right. The clock strikes midnight. It's 12 o'clock, the promised time. I wrap the Azoth sword with, hey, wait a minute, we've read this before. Anyway, with cloth and tuck it under my arm. This is my only weapon. The only other thing I'm taking is the pendant. Medea Lilius, pancake demon god, a perfect breakfast.
シロ、リンが呼んでるわ。外で待ってるから、準備ができ次第来なさいって。
I don't understand why Emmy is projecting butter and not making an entire meal for the perfect breakfast. It seems like such a waste. At least Zerkalot can make the food noble phantasm quality. Ilya's going to stay here. Partly because Zokin's after her, but I'm also having her stay here because she's my hope.
そうか。トサが先に外で待っているのか。
ええ。
Yep.
早く来いって顔してたから、急がないとまた小言よ。
We'll hurry, Ilya. I nod and get up. There's no pain in my left arm now. It's just that my human functionality is eroding. Ah, yes, that human functionality. We already commented on it. Barely needed emotions. Come on, Shiro, hang in there. I can't tell what I'm doing if I stand still.
それじゃあ行ってくる。エリアも気をつけてな。
Shootin's booze. Alcohol for breakfast?
いってらっしゃい、シロ。
Really?
夜が明ける頃に、さくらとリンと3人で帰ってきてね。
Why not be a little more Asian and bring out Rice Man's rice? Tota, right? That's his name. Not your thing. Oh, but alcohol for breakfast is your thing. Right. So if we ever meet, I'm gonna be expecting you to be downing vodka or beers at like 6 in the morning. All right. We'll be back before the day breaks. See ya, Ilya. I wave goodbye to her and leave. You mean moon people? Moon people? Can you... Is there even any alcohol on the moon? I guess we'll find out. The house is dead quiet. 10 years. Many things happened here and I have a lot of memories. This just happened recently. A morning scene that was part of my life for a year and a half. Wait, is it? This seems different. Didn't we have a hell of a depressing start where we just went straight to the forest last time? Anyway, a morning scene that was part of my life for a year and a half. So there is beer on the... There was alcohol on the moon, but BB drank it all? Okay. The shed is dead quiet. My small workshop I frequented, like my room. Here I trained hard every night, hoping to be like Kiritsugu. Kiritsugu. She'd wake me up from time to time when I slept in. It feels like it happened long ago, but I even remember how the air smelled. The room is dead quiet. A room that was only used for the past couple days. I don't have many memories here. Only Sakura comes to mind. He didn't actually say anything. I sigh and lean against the wall. Man, I can't remember. I can't remember what happened in this house or all the things I did. But still, Sakura's face comes to my mind just by walking to these places.
呆れた。こんなに俺は
It really means a lot to me. My consciousness is fading and my memory is a mess. The 10 years in this house are ambiguous in my head, but I can still remember. I can clearly remember Sakura no matter what part of me goes away. I take a deep breath. What must be done has been determined from the start.
さあ行こうさくら。
Taking a firm grip on my consciousness, I leave Sakura's room. There's nothing left. We once made a promise here. We knew it wouldn't come true, but we encouraged each other. Alright, thanks for hanging out, BB. I had fun, and I hope you did too. I'll see you next time. I'll do it again now. What was that small hope used for? It's just a small hope. Alright. Well, that was Valentine's Day. The longest Valentine's Day of our life. On to the 15th. Heaven's Feel Day 16. Final. The final day. Dawn of the final day. 24 hours remain. It's an altar enshrining the stars. The fire blazes up as if to connect the heaven and the earth. The flickering fire illuminates the dark cave and singes the surrounding dome. But this can't be a proper enshrinement. It's said to connect to the sky, but the heavens are still underground. Actually, this looks vaguely familiar. This looks like a background straight out of Grand Order. Very, very familiar. Just saying. And the shining light isn't red, but black. The air is impure, the wind's stagnant, and the drops of water on the walls are colored like poison. The underground kingdom that's said to be the dragon's lair actually looks like the dragon's stomach. No human would come here. The only ones to come and honor this alien world are serpents fleeing from the light. A white skull coughs in this alien world. The one tinted by dark red light is the one who lost his master, servant, assassin.
ここまでか。魔力提供がなくては、もはや体が持たぬ。
The white skull creeps across the wall. A girl stands before him. Swathed in a black curse, she blankly stares at the oncoming figure.
ようやくたどり着いたか。魔術師殿。姿は見えぬが、恩義は健在か。
He stops 5 meters in front of the girl. Sticking to the wall like a spider, assassin speaks into empty space.
よく戻ったな、アサシン。
And the call reaches him. The voice of the old Magus echoes through the empty chamber. The old man who was killed by Kotomine Kire still lives in this underground kingdom. It's natural. The one killed in the forest was just a collection of worms. The main body of the old Magus, the host that contains his soul, is sleeping in the safest place on earth. Even the priest's holy words cannot kill him unless the main body is destroyed.
しかし、
手足とも潰されたのは答えたわ。今のわしではお主に起こる魔力も作り出せん。かとい負担をかけるが頃合いか。さくら、アサシンと契約を結べ。バサカを失った今、新しい護衛が必要じゃろ。
Alright. Making a contract with Assassin? The voice echoes. The girl clad in black curse. Mato Sakura doesn't answer. Ignoring the one who has absolute control over her, she looks off blankly into space.
何をしておるさくら。わしの言葉が聞けぬというのか。
The irritated voice also contains danger. The old man is irritated. He's angry she lost Iliasfeel and Berserker.
さくら、もう一度言うぞ。わしの言葉が聞けぬというのか。
Cold scorn. The girl has never disobeyed this voice. It's not fear, but submission to his absolute controlling power. The girl does fear the old man. Moreover, the girl cannot disobey him. Because her heart is...
魔術師殿、この女、もはや精神が壊れてしまっているのではないか。あれほどの念を受け入れているのだ。脆弱な小娘に耐えきれるはずもない。
His irritation disappears. A gentle silence, sound of worms crawling, fills the hell lit by black flame.
どうやらそのようじゃな。しばらくは持つかと思うたが、幕引きはあっけなかったの。
The old Magus sounds disappointed yet happy. The girl doesn't answer. Her mind has been swallowed by darkness.
では、予定通りその娘を。
人聞きの悪い。予定通りなどではないぞ。あくまで仕方なくじゃ。麻藤さくらの理性は消えてしまった。このままでは、あの化け物を制御する者がいなくなってしまう。故に非道と知りながらも、空洞になった孫娘を喰らおうというのではないか。
Hell, he's laughing about it. Of course, it's so mean. It's so bad. I gotta consume my granddaughter. And then he just laughs. Yeah, all right, a laugh. Coming from the girl's throat. Wait, what? Rising from her throat is the old man's laughter.
では急ぎ行っていただけぬかな。私の体は消えかけている。早急に魔力をもらわねば消えてしまう。
では始めるとするか。
Yeah, hurry up. We gotta work with Assassin.
実に残念だぞ、さくら。ここまであれを育てたお主じゃ。せめて聖杯を手に入れる栄光は譲りたかったのだが、仕方あるまい。恨むのなら己を恨め。儀式が間に合わなかったわ。イリアスフィールを逃したお前の落ち度よ。
A gritting sound. A worm squirms to swap her head. It isn't visible. There are no worms on the girl's body. It's not on the outside. It's a distorted thought that creeps up from her heart. Worm user Mato Zoken. His main body, the host of his rotting soul, is a false nerve hidden within Mato Sakura's heart.
体はまだ変わりきっていないが、何贅沢は言わん。その肉体、消えた主に代わってわしが引き継いでやる。さらばださくら。実験作の身でよくぞ耐え抜き、よくぞわしを楽しませた。
A sound of writhing blood vessels. Mato Zoken's spirit orders his main body to eat the girl's brain. But
その必要はありません、おじいさま。私は大丈夫です。
the girl puts her hand on her chest and wakes up.
おう、飲まれてしまったかと思うたが、まだ踏みとどまっておったが。ではさくら、ちと事情が変わってな。わしではアサシンを維持できなくなった。少しばかり負担をかけるが、わしの代わりにアサシンと契約するがよい。
The old magus gives her an order. All right. I don't know if she's gonna listen. If she was listening the whole time, she's probably not listening now. And the girl shakes her head in refusal. Uh-oh. She must have been thinking. She must have been thinking that whole time. Using her silence and the possibility of her mental collapse to buy herself a minute or two to think silently. Alright, let's see where she goes.
何のつもりかな、桜。
ですから言ったでしょ、おじいさま。その必要はありませんと。
A nice cold voice. At that instant, a vast darkness swallows the white skull on the wall.
何？
Surprise comes too late. The assassin's body is compressed in an instant, his mask the only part not crushed. The mask falls. Under the white skull, the face that should be there is a skull, just like the mask.
なんだ。どんな顔をしてるかと思えば、もともと顔がない人だったんですね。
Rest in peace, assassin.
あなたは顔を隠していたんじゃなくて、素顔を隠すことで顔があると思わせているだけのつまらない人だった。
Skullception, indeed.
小娘貴様。
顔をなくして、名前も捨てて、それでも永遠を求めたなんて。けど残念。永遠を求めるなら、おじいさまのようにこれからも生き続けることを望まないと。いくら聖杯でも、過去に戻ってあなたの名前を取り戻すなんてことは、できないんだから。
Things the Grail can't do.
消えなさい、山の主。あなたは何者でもない一人の暗殺者。ただ一人のハサンになど、なれないわ。
You're nothing but an assassin. You can't become the one and only Hassan. Ah. He just got told how poorly he lives up to his name. Rip. Everyone knows First Hassan's way better anyway, right? Even his death cry is swallowed by the shadow. The white-skulled assassin is swallowed by the girl's shadow. Ops assassin getting tricked. Like, yeah, you're nothing but a regular-ass assassin. You are Hassan. Get real.
貴様正気か？何をするのだこのバカ者め。
His panic is akin to fury. Is he surprised or is he frightened? In response to the old man's scream, the girl
だっ
smiles.
てあの人、二度も先輩に手を挙げたでしょ。だから殺しました。だって、先輩を傷つけていいのは、私だけなんだから。
な、
それにおじいさま。おじいさまはもう、彼に守られなくてもいいんです。なら、彼には暇をあげないとかわいそう。
And then, she plunges her finger into her heart as if performing psychic surgery and pulls out a worm that was deep within her nerves. Fucking huge worm, man. What the shit? That's huge. Holy shit. Imagine something that big inside you. Ugh. Interfering with the blood vessels, your nerves, your heart. Where the heck? Alright. How do you describe the fear, the terror? She gouged her heart and tore her nerves, smiling all the while.
何をする桜。
Tapeworms are sometimes bigger. I feel like something that big in your heart would obstruct your blood vessels and probably cause your death. Yeah, tapeworms. Yeah, tapeworms are pretty gross, man. The worm wriggles. The girl stares with empty eyes at her grandfather. What used to be her grandfather. What seems to have been her grandfather.
なんだ。やってみたら簡単なんですね。私、おじいさまはもっと大きいかと思っていました。
No. Actually, Matozoken's true body wasn't this small. The old Magus switched his main body when he planted himself in her heart. To inhabit her heart, he had to be smaller than a heart. In retrospect, his strange preference was his downfall.
さくら、さくら、よもや。
あの神父さんには感謝しないといけませんね。あの方がおじい様を消してくださらなかったら、本当に私が食べられていたところだった。
That's like a drop in the pond. 9,000 out of 1.23 million? Gonna be there a while, man. Good luck. I know you'll get it there. I know you'll get there. It'll be a couple months, but you'll make it. Alright. Well, thanks to the priest. He's only this big now, alright. She sees through his plan. No, this outcome was inevitable. The old Magus didn't even try to hide his intentions, and the girl didn't disobey him. But it was no problem. She was just a piece of flesh that the old Magus would eventually take over. Until she betrayed him.
待て、待て、待て、待て。違うぞ、さくら。お前に取り付くというのは最後の手段だ。お前の意識があるのなら、門は全てお前に与える。わしはマトウの血統が栄えればそれでよい。
Wait, when was the Matau bloodline prospering ever in his list of goals? His goal is always immortality. He rants on that like every 5 minutes. It's like if we had that, you know, oh, it's this o'clock time, it's his time to rant about immortality time.
お前が勝者となり、全てを手に入れるのならば、それでよいのだ、さくら。
This is quite clearly him bullshitting us. He is totally lying. Complete bullshit. The worm squirms around. The girl smiles at the trash in her fingers.
それではなおさらですね。だってもうおじい様の手はいりません。あとは私だけでも門を開けることはできますから。
The impossible occurs. The old Magus only made one mistake.
待て、待つのだ。待ってくれ、さくら。わしはお前のことを思ってやってきたのだぞ。
Ah, yes. Now we'll try our own appeal to emotion. We'll appeal to Sakura's love for Zoken. Yeah, that's gonna be a tough sell, even under the best of circumstances, Zoken. It's especially not gonna work if you just tried murdering them.
それを恩をあだで返すような真似を。
You're surprised the highest attack servant in Japan is still Jean Alter? Not entirely unsurprising. It's nice to have record holders. Nice to have a gold standard you can compare everyone to. They endlessly break it. It reeks of escalation. I mean, their skills reek of escalation, but at least their attack stats don't reek of it, right? They just give everyone like 50% attack up, star bomb, star generation, and mana burst. That's how you get there.
さようならおじい様。200年も地の底でうごめいていたのは疲れたでしょう。さあ、もうお消えになっても結構です。
Aren't there several other worms to crush, though? The old man has raised her too much. Believing her to be pure, he never noticed the darkness within. The girl is the only one left at the altar. The swaying black fire rejoices at the independence of the girl that embodies it. The girl stares at the blood on her hand. She laughs like an empty puppet. Most health, Ganesha. Alright, I didn't know that one actually. So that's who has the health record. Alright, I feel like we're leading into something we've already seen before. We'll go for a little bit longer. Maybe the start of our encounter with Saber. And then we'll end things. For now. There's no reception. Ryudo Temple, hides in the dark, emitting alien powers like a crouching giant. There must be wind blowing from far above me. Yeah. Yeah, I think they set the range. Some people seem to have better allocations or slightly tweaked numbers, but there seems to be a general limit. A general limit on some of the numbers. Feel 1,000 health more than number 2. But is she significantly lower in attack than the previous one? And really, lowering your attack stat for more health is generally just bad in Grand Order. But we're talking Stay Night here. There's no attack stats in Stay Night, no class advantage. But if we strain our ears, we can hear the wind howling.
階段の上に力を感じます。
Oh.
境内の裏手にある池に何らかの場が作られているようですが。
Ryder just points out where we need to go, so we aren't wandering for hours? That's cool.
いいえ、そっちに用はないわ。上で作られてる場は表向きのただ聖杯を欲しがるマスター用のもんよ。
Tosca walks away from the stairs into the
ラ
forest.
イダー、大丈夫か？竜道寺は結界が張ってあるんだろ？サーバントは正門からしか山に入れないって聞いたけど。
Spartacus has the lowest attack.
多少の重圧はありますが、耐えられるレベルです。
We're
それに
berserkers.
中に入りさえすれば、この土地はサーバントにとって最適な霊脈です。大気に満ちたマナを吸い上げれば、回復はたやすい。
Alright. There contains the most suitable ley line in land. Once we get inside, we can recover by drawing mana from the air because there's so much mana. Alright.
辛いだろうが、少しの間我慢してくれ。
We push our way through the tree branches. There's not even an animal trail over the mountain, so we have to climb down rock walls. Yep, same as last time.
イリアの話じゃこの辺りなんだけど。シロ、入り口らしきもの見当たらない？
So this section's gonna be the same,
悪し
right?
きものってなんだよ。
岩肌に人が入れそうな亀裂があるとか、あからさまに怪しい社とかよ。一応入り口なんだから、まさか落とし穴ってわけでもないでしょ？
Are we going to stream them? I did do the censored ones of the scenes, because they're all the mandatory scenes, yeah. I streamed the censored versions of them, and I put the whole channel to mature only for that, or while they were up in the VODs. But we are actually well and past all of them. You're not going to see any, and they aren't going to be in the Twitch channel history. Yeah, we can go through them. Oh man, that Rin one was terrible. That was like the worst. The ones in this Rin are actually a bit better. It's like they're either written slightly higher quality, or there was more effort put into them. The Rin one was was pretty bad. We're at the final route. Yes, we are almost at the very end of the final route. We actually just moved into day 16. Day 16 is the last day of the last route. We've gotten just about everything done. There's a couple Tiger Dojos we missed, as you have to basically screw your entire playthrough over to reach them. But we've gotten just about everything else.
むちゃ言うな。星が出てるからって、
Oh, yeah.
夜の森で周りが見通せるかって。
Yeah, the Rin was super awkward. Yeah, I wouldn't recommend reading this visual novel if that's what you're looking for. I would recommend reading it for more of an explanation. Like, so far, compared to the movie, because the Heaven's Feel movie was pretty good. I did get to see it. Compared to the movie, they did a much better job explaining that Shiro's mind's actually degrading. I feel like it wasn't very clear what was happening in his head a lot of the time, and he was just being a dumbass during the movie. Whereas it's really obvious here that his mind is not even slowly, it's visibly degrading to the point where you're missing entire scenes, and you hear his monologue where he's like, what did I just do for the last 3 hours? It should have been important. And they're like, oh yeah, you went and got dinner. And you're like, well, I should make dinner. And he's like, no, you've already made dinner. I should clean up. You just cleaned up. And you're like, shit, my mind's left. And he's like, I don't know what happened in this room. I don't even remember what this room's called. Then you also get like some cool alternative routes and stuff where you can see a few what ifs, like what if we didn't bring someone along? What if we said no? Even if the what ifs are kind of, and then you die, because there's, every route leads to death basically, but there's one right route and most of the other routes lead to death. But it's kind of nice to see, give you some answers. Shiro in this route's useless. I wouldn't say he's useless. He's definitely pulled off some god tier. Definitely pulled off some good shit. Like in this route, Heavensfield, he killed Berserker, man. Useless? What are you talking about? He took down Berserker, and like we just did an alternative where we just did an alternative ending that most people consider a bad ending where we don't bring Ryder to the cave fight. He actually manages to beat Saber. He doesn't kill her, but he slices her open, and she's basically lying on the ground waiting for her regen. And she's like, well, fucking anybody can kill me here since I'm paralyzed from the neck down. And, except his mind's collapsed by that point. So he can't do anything. But, like, that was fucking badass. As he beat Saber in a fucking sword fight. By doing like the crane wing attack that Ilya uses as her NP or Chloe uses, not Batman, Chloe uses in Grand Order. That was fucking cool. Alright, back to the cave entrance drama. Oh, I can't. We must be behind the temple because I see many dead trees. Mozart isn't weak to animal. Are you just giving random Grand Order trivia now? It's interesting trivia, and that I didn't know. That's cool. It's kind of funny. Alright. There's no sign of human influence. There's nothing here but dead trees and a small stream. A small stream. Hold on. That means the water's coming from somewhere.
ライダー、あの小川の先、岩が固まってるよな。
Oh. And then we get new dialogue. Ryder asking Ryder what's there.
真っ暗でよく見えないけど、あれ、もしかして横穴になってないか?
Yeah, that would make sense. Star alignment keeps you from being weak to Enema Leash. Most servants are weak to it. There's only like a handful of servants that have that alignment.
シロ、振り向かないように。
Don't turn around, Shiro? What? Ryder must have taken off her
あ
restraint.
りますね。天然の洞穴ですが、人間が入れないこともない。ここからでは1メートルほどで行き止まっているように見えますが、魔術による偽装が感じられます。
そっか、助かる。トサが、それらしいものあったみたいだ。
Interesting. I like how they changed the dialogue. Since we had to already read this scene, I like how they changed things up to make it a little more straightforward. Like, there's less delays, different conversations happening here. Things went differently when the Ryder wasn't here. Alright, we pick our way down to the stream. It's more like a spring flowing up from the rocks. The stones are piled atop one another where it starts, and there's a crack big enough for one person to fit through. Like a snow hut made from rocks. You can see that a huge boulder is blocking the entrance so nobody would even try to go in it.
当たり。この岩簡単にすり抜けるわ。
Dusk walks into the darkness without turning
先
around.
にどうぞ。後ろは私が守ります。
It's like they replaced every other page. I nod and enter the darkness, giving Ryder some dialogue. The sound of scraping on a hard surface. I progress down the wet rock using my hands. The ground slopes steeply downward. The weight of the darkness is stifling. Again, it's pitch black. Flashlights are not expensive in 2004. Come on, Shiro. Unless I keep my back to the ground as I move, I might fall into the endless dark. I lay flat on my back as I slowly descend. It's dark and I can't tell how far down this path goes. My breathing echoes in my ears.
シロ、今のうちに聞いておく。
And then, Tosca, the one leading the way, suddenly speaks up. Here's where she's gonna ask about why we made the sword.
いいけど、
I wonder if Ryder's gonna say anything.
宝石剣なんで作ってくれたの？
She sounds blunt, as if she's just asking to kill time while we're descending.
なんでって、なんでさ。
Can't actually help but feel bad for Sakura. Yeah, she's had a rough fucking life, man. Like, her entire life with Zoken sucks. Being given, I don't, even if she went to a good home, when you're like 6 or 8 years old, and your father's just like, yeah, I'm gonna give you up for adoption. Fuck it. Why not? That would be like, that would give you some serious issues, right? Like, as a child, I feel like that would give you some problems, just that by itself. If it was like given up for adoption into a normal home, you'd be like, you'd have like some serious abandonment issues you'd have to get over. Like, that would count as a rough childhood. And Sakura's got it way the fuck worse than that. Like, holy shit. Because everyone in the Matou household is like complete trash. You don't know if you hate Tokiomi or Shinji more? Tokiomi is a shitty person, but he's kind of an okay mage. I would say Shinji is worse because Shinji is not only a shitty mage, but he's actively just being like he's not just a shitty person. He actively goes out of his way to be absolute fucking garbage. Like, you could kind of hate on Tokiomi because he did this thing, but remember, like, he's kind of like he kind of Rin sees him as like the epitome of a Magus. So I'm going to assume that that's like mages are, because that's kind of how we see them in the case files of Lord Elmalloy. In that case, I feel like based on his culture, he kind of did an okay job as a father. He's like, you have potential to be a mage. I don't want you to waste your potential, so I'm going to try and get you into a position where you can use your magical powers to their full potential. And then he was blinded by the fact that he was being a good mage and that maybe that wasn't the best course for the person, and was going to completely ruin her life, and wouldn't listen to, Karia, and, was a complete dick for no reason. But, that's what happens when people directly insult your culture or something you personally hold to a high standard. So I can kind of understand Tokiomi. I don't agree with what he did, but I can see how the culture he grew up in may have influenced him to make that decision. Yeah, he's got a lot of pride too. You're absolutely right. He's pride, because that's part of being a mage, is pride. Pride in your abilities and your decisions, pride that you're above the law, etc., etc. Shinji doesn't have any excuse for being the garbage he is. He goes to a real school, like a real Japanese high school. He's lived with other people his whole life, and then he goes out of his way to be an abusive, shitty person to Shiro, to be an abusive, shitty person, especially to his sister. And he's just all around trash. He's arrogant, he's trashy, and he's spiteful. He doesn't actively try to be a good person. He doesn't even try to do what's right by the person who's teaching him things. Like, Zoken does, even fucking Zoken doesn't like him. Imagine fucking Matou Zoken thinking you're trash. Like, come on. The guy is literally like worms, murders people. He murders people on like a daily basis for giggles. He likes torturing people, and he's like, man, this guy is actually just garbage and ruins everything. Like he's just, oh my god, you can compare them, but I feel like Shinji just wins every time in the garbage person. Like, I feel like Zoken has a goal in mind. Who is Tokiomi? Tokiomi is Rin's father. That's who we're talking about. Lancelot's master, I believe, is Karia. So it's Gilgamesh's original master in Fate Zero. Yeah, Gil's original master.
だから私は桜を殺すって言ってるのよ。そんな私に武器を預けていいのかってこと。
Yeah, not a fan of him because he's a little bit overly prideful. I mean, he was cheating at the Grail War, but to be fair, fucking half the people in these Grail Wars are cheating from before the game starts. Like, come on. Gil obeys no master. Yeah, well, Tokiomi made the foolish mistake of trying to issue commands and make assumptions about how much character liked them when he had Bond 0. You gotta wait until you're at least Bond 6, Tokiomi. Come on. You need Bond 5 to unlock all their interludes. He didn't even try to get Bond 5. He's just like, use your upgraded Null Phantasm. I'm Bond 1. I'm Bond 1. I can't do that. Use it anyway. No. No. So, yeah, we can totally give Rin a weapon when she said she's planning on killing Sakura. Why? Well, I nod in agreement. Tosuka certainly has a
よ
point.
くない。よくないけど、遠坂がいないと桜は助けられない。桜を助けたいんなら、一人より二人の方が確実だろ。それに、剣を投影するのは約束だった。
Alright, thanks for hanging out unafraid. We're just gonna be getting to the start of the saber fight and then stopping. I think we all know a saber fight's coming at this point because we've already seen the fact that Saber is at the bottom of this cave. And projecting the sword was a promise. That makes sense. Keep your promises, right?
俺は遠坂との約束を果たせなかった。だから、もう一つの約束だけはきちんと守りたかったんだ。
It happened a long time ago. I asked for Tosuka's help after I lost Saber. Tosuka responded to my call for help, and I made a promise with her. To let her win. Your eyes deceive you? They do not. They do not. We're almost at the end. And I mean that in two ways. Tonight. I promise to make her the victor. You do see it. And no emotes at the moment, but they are on the way. I commissioned them already. Or I've commissioned them. I know that it's going to be a couple weeks, though. Give me a couple weeks. They'll be there soon. They'll be there soon. I can't keep that promise anymore. We can't get Rin to win. So we have to keep our other promise to her. For the girl I used to admire. For Tosuka Rin, who believed in someone who had nothing at the time.
そう。律儀ね、あなた。
なあ、遠坂ほどじゃないけどな。
Silence returns to the darkness. The conversation ends. We continue our descent without looking at each other. A long path that seems to lead to hell. The path spiraled downward, and just as I'm thinking, we're over 100 meters underground. The dark cave changes completely, welcoming us. Hey, we're not blind anymore. The path that could only accommodate one person widens up and leads on. Man, Hero, you need to bring a fucking flashlight still. That was so dumb. You're lucky that there's some fucking green moss on the ground, luminescent moss that's lightening things up, because you had to go all the way down through this cave system without seeing anything. That would have been dumb. The vanilla route. It is the vanilla route. It's like the most vanilla route. Yeah, the Corona emote. Isn't it great? Who did I commission? I was talking to the person who did Poison Loves emote. It was a colleague, so I figured I'd ask them to do them since she did an alright job with his stuff. And I think they might be friends in real life. I'm not quite sure. They're I was like, we'll see how this goes. Commission someone who doesn't like. I just want to get used to like commissioning art in the first place if we're going to be commissioning a bunch of stuff. I'll go with someone. They're not like super popular or anything. Relative unknowns. See how their work is. If I like it, I'll keep commissioning from them. Otherwise, we can just go to some of the more popular ones, as there's a lot of people who do like a shit ton of emotes and basically make their whole job of that. Alright, no worries, man. No worries, man. Thanks for thanks for hanging out. I know it's like 12 hours. There's like a 12-hour time difference, so you can't always be chatting or awake during the stream. Auntie is doing auntie things. Yeah, aunties are hilarious. They make so much money off those guys. If they notice you might get executed. Yeah, you need to wait a few years. You need to wait a few years. Once you get into college, nobody gives a shit. Like I kid you not, I've seen people just straight up playing video games on their laptop during class in university, and like nobody comments. Or I read literally half of Attack on Titan over someone's shoulder because they were just reading Attack on Titan in class. Like, that's what they did. We went to, what was that? It was a software design class, I think. Legitimately, the guy was just reading Attack on Titan the whole class. So you can get away with a lot of stuff, but then again, when you go to university, you're paying for that money, so you're paying money to attend that class, so you generally want to succeed in the first place. Blair went into new members chat, got 1 million new memberships. Yeah, I was gonna say, actually, a lot of the aunties for Hololive will still fucking pay. They'll actually still pay. Say that dumb shit and get themselves banned. It's hilarious because they keep making new accounts and memberships, then get banned. They don't get a refund on their money though if they get banned. Yeah, if you decide to waste the time, I mean, sometimes for some classes it's more important to be there and hear what the announcements are, or get like information. You're kind of just there for like, you actually only care about 15 minutes of the class, or maybe, announcements, shit like that, and the actual class lecture isn't that important. Which I'm sure you've been there even for some classes in high school where you're like, man, I did not need to be here. I could have done fucking anything else. And then the teacher makes an announcement in the last 5 minutes that's like, oh, this homework thing is due, like, this page of homework from here, it's due fucking 2 weeks from now. And if you didn't get that, and if you weren't there in class, you would have been in shit. You'd have had to be told by someone else. Or, like, they make assignments for group work or something like that, right? Where you still need to show up. So some classes have that, some classes don't. I mean, other classes, I know people who just straight up didn't show up for, like, 90% of classes. They're like, well, I just read the lectures, and I already know most things, so easy A. Alright, there's no need for light now. The cave is lit by a dim green glow, probably from some kind of luminous moss. Kind of cheating because I already read that, but you can kind of guess. The other guess would be that there's like a light at the end of the tunnel, right? The path is saturated with life force. It feels too lively. An air of birth filled with vigor and the joy of life. An immense amount of awe, and mana so strong it's almost visible. I mean, it makes me want to vomit. The antis have already made some really questionable decisions. The first one is they don't realize that even the Chinese government doesn't want this bad press and doesn't want them on YouTube in the first place. Because if they get caught by the Chinese government using a VPN to access YouTube, they can actually get arrested or have their social credit rating plummet so they can't get a job. Like, it's unironically illegal to be doing the harassment they're doing, not because it's harassment, but because they're not supposed to be on YouTube. And also, the reason she probably had as many people from Taiwan as she did is because Taiwan is the closest Chinese language server to China. So, yeah, they basically caused their own problem. It's really dumb. Like, if you're in a VPN somewhere, you VPN just to access the website. You VPN to Taiwan because you're in China, and you kind of want to access everything in Chinese by default rather than, say, like French or something. Not exactly right. But then again, they're all like mindless zealots for the CCP. probably haven't had an original thought in 5 years. I wouldn't say their whole life, because I'm sure they had original thoughts before they were indoctrinated. What to do with all those channel points? Who knows? You'll come up with some. I'm sure you'll think of something. I'm sure you'll think of something. The warmth of life should be dazzling, but instead it's something rotten, making me want to look away. How's it going, Ryder? I have no words to say to her. This is the land of death. Talking to each other to soften the tension would only cost us our lives. Just speaking. Lethal.
ここからは自分の命を優先して。
Thanks for sharing. I might look at it on my own time. Or next Grand Order stream. I try not to be too distracted by clips and stuff during some of these gameplay sessions. During specific gameplay sections. Totsuka heads down the path to the source of the black air. Your own safety first, alright. Ryder and I follow after her, concentrating on our surroundings. I see something red on the ground. It's a trace of blood. It leads to the back. Did someone come here before us? And someone wounded badly enough to leave a trail behind a trail of blood? Ooh, we have more information. We have more information from our death. From our death and the intermission. It's distinctly not Zoken. It's distinctly not Zoken. And it's definitely not Assassin. Or probably not Assassin because he wasn't severely injured. So that is one of our other survivors. Dark Elf. Yeah, Flair's pretty fun. She's got a good voice. And she does some really chill streams. Actually, like, her Minecraft streams are super chill. She spent, I shit you not, like 3 months building a tiny hotel and like making all of the furniture in Minecraft using weird overlapping and stuff. It was pretty cool. Weird overlaps, a lot of very specific pieces, hours of adjusting, making pointless devices to facilitate, to make some of the facilities more usable. It was pretty cool. Like, I think there was a stream dedicated to making fancy lanterns all over the patio. Shit like that. It was pretty fun. I shake off the train of thought and head on. Yeah, no time for paying attention to blood splatters. I can't be worrying about others. My consciousness fades away if I let my guard down. Yeah, you definitely don't want to let your consciousness fade away if you... because of idle curiosity. Oh yeah, weird blood splatters. Sit there thinking about it. A normal person would lose their train of thought. You like lose your train of thought for 6 hours. Wake up dead. Because he kind of just idly walked past Saber and got killed. I'll disappear if I worry about needless things. I tighten my grip on the pendant. Letting the pain clear my mind, I step into the green darkness. But you said it was illuminated by luminescent moss. Why? A warm wind hits my cheeks. At its end, the path opens into a cavern. It's about as big as the school ground. It's too dark to make out the ceiling, but it must be about 10 meters high. I don't detect any signs of life. An unforgettable underground space that looks like the moonscape I read about a long time ago. And there waits Saber, filled with absolute hostility. The only feature stuff you saw for was a mouse. They come in all varieties. And all sorts. Popular ones, unpopular ones, ones working for Hololive, independent ones. All good. She's the only one here. Just Saber. No Sakura, no Zoken, no Assassin. The only one blocking the way here is the girl who has turned black.
Saber.
There's no reply. Of course, Saber's duty is to eliminate any intruders. She's the gatekeeper and executioner. Saber's the strongest servant Sakura has, so she can fight us by herself.
話し合いで通してくれるって雰囲気じゃなさそうね。
Tosca lowers her stance and reaches for the gem sword she's hiding behind her back. She must intend to fight head on. I don't know what kind of ability the sword has, but she's gonna fight Saber. That's not a good idea. We still have a countermeasure. Since we know Saber's powers, we can't use our only secret weapon when Zoken and Assassin are still waiting for us. Yeah, you don't want to pull something and then have Assassin get the jump on you, ruining it.
遠坂待てセイバーは
リン、私にはあなたと争う理由はない。くれぐれも間違いで私に剣を向けないように。
Oh,
あなたをここで殺してしまっては。
the dialogue changed. Alright. Speaking in the same quiet tones as before, Saber stops Tosca in her tracks. We comprehend what she means right away.
どういうつもり？あなたはここの門番よね、セイバー。
はい。相手が何者であれ、ここを通る者は消去する。それが桜の命令です。ですが、
私は例外。桜の方から会いたがってるってわけ？
You're not wrong. You're not wrong, Xenon. He definitely plays a fucking crazy character you wouldn't wanna try and mess with. She'll have too much fun with you. You try to harass her and she'll have too much fun. And weird out the people who are trying to piss you off or weird you out. I swear, like the antis just post really weird shit half the time, because they don't actually speak Japanese or Chinese, or they don't actually speak Japanese or English. Like they're copy pasting from the Red Book. Weird quotes that don't translate very well. Saber nods.
そう、本気なんだ、桜。
She mutters, I see, she must be serious. After taking a deep breath, Tosca walks over to Saber.
遠坂
悪いわね。そういうわけだから先に行かせてもらうわ。
Alright, see you later, Tosca. This time we'll actually see you later. We aren't going to be dying, mentally or otherwise. Tosca walks on without hesitation and passes by Saber. And right before she disappears,
シロ、あんたがどうなるかは知らないけど、私は信頼してるんだから、ちゃんと期待に応えてよね。
Wait, I can't understand if you complain to me without telling me what I should be doing.
だから、蹴りがついた後に来られて文句言われるのも迷惑だってこと。その、さくらを助けたいって言うんなら、あんまり遅くならないようにね。
First story note to not use Kiara? Oh, is she not available as a story summon? Tosca disappears, her hair fluttering behind her. Thanks, Tosca. That gave me strength. In short, she told me to come help her while she keeps Sakura at bay.
それは不可能です。あなたはここで死ぬのですから。シロ。
Me? Die? Her hostility expands. Tosca left, and Ryder and I are the only ones here. Ah, they're all night classes, I see. So she doesn't have to hold back anymore, huh?
殺すとは聞き捨てなりませんね。あなたが手にかけるのはこの道を通る者のみ。
The Ryder says the
彼が
line
この場に
instead
とど
of
ま
me.
るのなら
Okay.
あなたに襲われることはないはずですが。
とどまるのならばそうしよう。だが、その男はどうあっても先に進む。私には勝てないと理解していながら、先に進むしかない。違いますか、ライダー。
そう。先に仕えていたのはあなただったわね、セイバー。
I'm curious about something. I need to check. What's her alignment in this? She's lawful evil. Okay. I was gonna say, if she's anything other than lawful evil, I'm gonna be really confused. So she is in fact lawful. That's why she's following the rules instead of attacking you. She keeps her lawful alignment. Alright. Alright.
彼の性格、知っていて当然ということ。
Okay. It's natural she knows personality. That's fair. Saber narrows her eyes. The black holy sword is in her hands. Oh, she just summons it already. She's coming. Rider or I. If either one of us takes a step forward, Saber will use all her power to kill us.
セイバー、どうあっても引かないんだな。
くどい。それが私の役割と言った。
It's too lawful to back down from that. I grabbed the shroud. Saber shows no sign of hesitation. We're already enemies. I realized that back in the forest. So?
そうか。なら、ここでお前を消滅させる。
And with that line, I think it's time to wrap things up. Shit's getting intense. But I try not to play things out too late. I know you guys all have to go to bed at some time, which is why I will try to start earlier tomorrow. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. We'll resume this next week. And next week, though it may pain me, I'm going to try to finish this next week. Like, we're just gonna go to the end. This is like the lead up to the last battle. So I'm gonna try to make next week's session our last session. Thanks for hanging out, guys. I really don't want to split it any more awkwardly, so we're gonna end things out. But thanks for hanging out. I'll see you guys tomorrow for some BattleTech in Grand Order. And until then, thanks for hanging out. Have a great night, and I hope to see you next time.